Welcome to the Creative Coach Podcast. My name is Wade Kingsley. This week on the pod, we're going to talk about a book. Now, if you haven't listened to any episodes yet, first of all, welcome. Second of all, I am a huge reader. I collect books, a bit of a hobby, and I love reading very much. So every now and again, I come across a cracker of a creative book and I want to be able to share it with you on the podcast. So today's book is called Creative First Aid. Yes, Creative First Aid. And it's written by Caitlain Marshall and Lizzie Rose, and they're the founders of a business called Makeshift. Now, I'm just going to read you the back of the book because I think it gives you a good flavour. And then I'm going to show you one of the exercises they put in there to help you understand what Creative First Aid really is and how you can use it. So it says that being creative is good for us. I'm sure you agree with that if you're listening to me now, and I certainly agree with that. But it also lowers our stress hormones, calms our nervous system, and can get us into a flow state. Our innate creativity is part of being human, but it's easy to forget, especially since many of us have been told that we are no good at art. And at a time when mental health challenges are on the rise and support systems are stretched, Creative First Aid is a practical guide to taking matters into your own hands. It's about the proven positive effects of making something, a garden, a story, a meal, a drawing, and the powerful interaction this process can have on your mental, emotional, and physical state. So I love it when people talk about creativity in relation to health and particularly mental health. We know that creativity and mental health have a very strong relationship. Sometimes it's a positive and constructive relationship, and sometimes it's a bit of a destructive and not so positive situation. So with a book like this comes out and it's got practical ways to help you tap into that, I'm always very keen. Now, the thing I love about this is there are what they call creative prescriptions. So all through the book, there's elements of exercises that you can do depending on how you're feeling, depending on what you want to get out of it, trying to think about creativity in a different way. And I'm just going to pull out one of the exercises today. So the creative prescription, I would call them exercises in my world, but they call them creative prescriptions, which is great. It's actually called humming. Now, you don't have to be Einstein to work out what humming means, but let me just read you what it's about. Sarah Ball is a trauma-sensitive and mental health-focused yoga teacher. She's well-respected and an authentic voice in a local community and has a beautiful ability of gifting wisdom without ego. During lunch with her one day, when we admitted to a mutual admiration, we found a spark of collaboration in this sound-based practice, which is the heartbeat of Sarah's great work. So let me show you what it is, and then we'll talk about why it's important. So when you feel ready, take a steady inhale. As you start to exhale, you might like to bring your lips together and ever so gently begin to make a humming sound. You can explore this sound all the way to the end of the exhalation and then repeat as many times as you choose. So I'm going to do it again. Here we go. So perhaps you notice the sensation of your lips vibrating with the sound, and maybe you feel the sense of your belly moving as you breathe. As you hum, you can play with volume and even bring in some spontaneous melody to the sound of your humming. Or you can use a more meditative, repetitive sound that allows you to unwind into the repetition. So the benefits of this activity, according to the book Creative First Aid, is it's perfect when you need to settle your system but need to stay where you are and can't move around much. So it's for when you're thinking more, that feels helpful, take a little pause, but don't have long. It's for when you're not sure what to do to help yourself feel soothed. When you hum, you invite the activation of the innate rest-digest response in your nervous system. This is likely, at least in part, because it's the opposite of how, when we're under a threat, we breathe quickly to fuel the fight or flight response. So this is a really easy thing that everyone can do. You can just sit there and do some humming at any point, anytime, anywhere. And that's why it's a great prescription, as they call it, or a creative exercise, as I call it, in a coaching capacity. And I've started using it in some coaching sessions where we get people just to sit and breathe first. Usually what we do in a coaching session is I start by asking how people are sleeping, because that's a huge indicator of how they're feeling about their confidence and how their mind has some clarity to it, or they're feeling a little bit stressed and overwhelmed. The humming thing is something you can do any point in time. In fact, I'm going to do it again right now. Interesting, we probably know breath work in 1, 2, 3, 4, out. 1, 2, 3, 4, or an exercise called box breathing, where you kind of breathe in a box fashion. So you go sort of 1, 2, 3, 4, inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4, exhale. But this one's good because it adds the humming element, the humming sound. So why don't you give it a go? You can do it right now, or maybe if you're listening to this somewhere public and you feel a bit embarrassed, then wait till the next time you're on your own. But definitely do it when you're feeling a little bit overwhelmed or you've got a bit of creative block going on. So the book, again, it's called Creative First Aid. Hands-on prescriptions, there's 50 of them, and it's about the science and joy of creativity for mental health. It's by Caitlain Marshall and Lizzie Rose, and you'll be able to find that at all good bookstores, no doubt. Okay, that's the episode for this time around. Join me again next week when we'll have another creative exercise for you to do as I help you unlock your creative potential. Until then, stay creative.